Hello everyone, and welcome to another Cartoon Galaxy rant. I'm Mars Moon, and I like to rant about cartoons. So, yet again, there is more drama in relation to the Amazing Digital Circus, this time with Glitch, the independent organization that is featuring the Digital Circus on their channel. So, from what I have heard recently, they are going to have the season finale of Digital Circus, I believe it's episode 9, released sometime in June. And this is a big deal for fans because it's going to give some kind of closure, ending to the whole story. And even for myself, I also watch Digital Circus, and I have to say I am also interested in seeing what the conclusion is going to be, because things are building up, folks. I mean, I'm not going to say what's going on because I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't watched it, but it's building up, and we're going to find out soon. Now, the problem is, Glitch released a trailer about the last episode. And in the trailer, it gives, a few little bits and pieces of what we may see. And it also makes an announcement that the last episode is going to be featured first in theaters 2 weeks before it is released on YouTube, and I believe also Netflix. And this got fans pissed off. Why, you may ask? Well, because the internet is known for giving spoilers out like you would not believe. And if there is a premiere, a preview of the Digital Circus 2 weeks before the bigger release on YouTube, people are going to go on the internet and share the information and spoil it for everyone else. And that's probably most of the fandom, because as far as I know, the show is going to be shown in a certain number of theaters. It's not like it's going to be shown in many, many theaters near you. I know there's some folks online who had shared that their local theaters are not going to be showing it. So they're out of luck. And it's very hard to avoid the internet in 2 weeks to avoid spoilers. So you can imagine why people are annoyed. Now, there was a statement made by the head of Glitch. He mentioned that the reason why they are doing this whole theater thing is because they want to show the power, I guess, of indie animation, right? This is a big deal because Digital Circus is an independent animation, and the fact that it is going to be in theaters around the world is something to show how empowering independent animation can be, especially in a time when big animation and entertainment corporations are just not, providing what viewers want to see, which I agree with. I mean, that he makes a valid point. And then he also goes on to say that a lot of theaters wanted to have the animation, the Digital Circus animation, shown a month before the YouTube release, and he had pressed to push it the 2 weeks. So that was the best he could do. So this is the statement that he made. Now I'm going to give you my take on what I think about it. Valid points, but there are some things that I don't want to say doesn't make sense, but don't really add up. Here's the thing that I've noticed about Glitch and the Digital Circus. The Digital Circus is their main moneymaker. Let's just face it. They promote it like you wouldn't believe. They have a lot of other independent animations, which they promote from time to time, but a lot of the times you always see them promoting Digital Circus. It even promotes them to the point of merchandising, where in between the releases of episodes, they're always releasing clips and things like that, which are really just ads for their dolls and toys. So it's not very hard to see that Glitch is very well aware that they are making a lot of dosh with this animation. And for a group that claims that they are pushing for independent animation, I find it kind of ironic that they're only pushing one particular animation that's doing well, while not really pushing the other ones. If you are very devoted to pushing independent animation, then shouldn't you give equal opportunity to all the cartoons, all the animations in your possession, in your collection? Why just the one? Well, like I said earlier, because it's more profitable. Let's get back to this theater thing. Yes, it could possibly be that they're pushing to put the digital circus in theaters because it makes some statement about independent animation. Or could it possibly be, this is it. This is the end of Digital Circus. Once episode 9 comes out, this concludes everything. Glitch's big moneymaker is at its end. And now it has to find something else to make its big money. So I'm sure they figure, well, if this show is going to be ending, we have to pocket as much money as we can before this thing ends. And what better way to do it than through a theater? Because here's the thing, I'm sure they make a lot of revenue and all of that through YouTube and through Netflix. But hell, why not even rake in a lot more with a theater release? Because I guarantee you fans, if they see a theater release and they get the opportunity to see it right away before the YouTube release, they're going to get their butts in the seats as quickly as they can. I'm sure seats are going to sell quick. And then, because fans want to see it in their countries and stuff, they're actually sending emails to their theaters, their local theaters, pushing to have this thing show. So I hope this is not the case, but it really does feel like it's more of a money thing. That they're making, believe me, they're going to be making a lot of money off of this. Here's the other thing. If you are pushing for independent animation, especially Digital Circus, first, like I mentioned earlier, you could push for your other animations that are in your catalog, which you really don't. And two, there are other ways to celebrate this last episode that would actually be more beneficial for your fan base than doing this theater release. And that would be, I know a lot of people, what they'll do sometimes is when they have some kind of special show or animation or something that they're going to put out there on YouTube or any kind of streaming service, sometimes what they do is they'll have like something beforehand, before the release of that show or whatever it may be, where maybe they may have like a panel, and they'll have like the creator and the animator and the voice actors and everybody sitting together and talking about the project and giving details about how it was made and how they feel about this is the last one and have something like that, the behind the scenes, if you will. I think the fans would appreciate that even more. And not only that, but that would show, in my opinion, more appreciation for the independent creators, because you're giving them this kind of spotlight where they could share a little bit about this show that they created through the years before this big release of the final episode. There are so many other ways you could do this. A theater release. Now, before I end this video, I want to share, I have nothing against Glitch. When they started out doing what they were doing. I actually was cheering them on. I felt that this is great. I actually felt the whole idea of, yes, finally someone who's setting up this whole thing of putting independent animation out there and, giving the other industries a run for their money. And in a sense, they were, and maybe they still will. But here's the thing. I have some concerns, and it's not just for the fandom, but it is for Glitch itself. There was a issue at one point, and I did a video about this, where the fandom got upset at the creator of Digital Circus because she had mentioned who the main characters were of the show, and they didn't like what she said, and it became a whole thing. Which goes to show how the fandom can be when they don't like certain things a certain way in their show. I'm just giving a circumstance that could potentially happen, not that it will, but what are the chances that Glitch, they're releasing this thing early in theaters, what are the chances that the fans that go to theaters to see it don't like the ending? They don't like the conclusion. Now you don't have to worry about spoilers. Now you have to worry about angry fans going on the internet and not only spoiling things, but also saying, hey, don't watch this. The ending is awful. Doesn't go the way we want it, folks. And then a few fans, accidentally bump into this, but they see it, it's seen, and then they are like, you know what? Oh my gosh, I don't like that. I'm not going to watch it when it comes out. And then the word spreads. And then when it does make its official release 2 weeks later, the views are not going to be what Glitch wants. And for making that extra bucks that they wanted to make by putting it in theaters, they may potentially lose even more on the official release on YouTube and Netflix. Now, I hope that does not happen, but there is a chance that it can. And I have to say, for Glitch, that's quite a risk to take. And I don't know if they're aware of that risk, or maybe they're blindsided by dollar signs. These are some things that the company, for now at this point, I'm just going to call them a company. This is what they have to think about, and this is what they have to consider. So not only does the decisions that they make affect the fandom, but it is going to affect them in the long run. And then it will hurt the independent animation industry. Glitch is slowly becoming what the big industries, like Disney, Warner Brothers, Paramount, have become. Those are my main concerns. And I hope my concerns are not going to come to fruition, but we will see. But yeah, share what you guys think. I'd like to know your opinion. I mean, you guys could totally disagree with me. That's fine. Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. Take care and peace out.